Britney Spears and Sam Asghari have announced their engagement, and we're all very happy for her because it seems that after 13 years of grueling conservatorship, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. She looks really happy for that, and fans are absolutely ecstatic to see her like this, feeling joy and excitement for what the future brings. But there's a not so small part of her fans that have serious doubts about Asghari's true intentions. The problem is that their interactions on Instagram, that is the only channel we have to more or less know how she's doing, are very limited. Ever since I published my other videos on Britney's case, I've gotten requests to have a look at him, and since they announced their engagement, well, it has become an urgent matter. In this video, I'll present my current impressions on this case, that it's still an ongoing investigation, so I'm open and grateful for any other clues, suggestions, or resources that you post in the comments. Welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and it will be great if you join us by just liking this video, subscribing, and hitting that bell. Let's get down to it. Let's do a quick recap of all the reasons some fans think Sam Asghari's intentions are not the best. First, we got those claims from Morgan Osman when she posted pictures kissing him, claiming that he was cheating on Britney with her. I don't know why everyone is attacking me. Sam Asghari is the cheater. I feel sorry for Britney Spears. She seems like a good person. I have video and images of our real relationship. Britney, he is using you. And Asghari never denied any of this. There's also this update from Britney's Instagram. Fall in love with taking care of yourself. Mind, body, spirit. When she was going for mental health treatment. He captioned it, "It isn't weakness, it's a sign of absolute strength. People should only be inspired by this. At least I am stronger." He presents it like Britney went to this facility by her own decision, and after her court hearing statement, we know that this was not the case. As she was forced to do it, so this update is very suspicious of him. Or that time when they were working out and you can read his lips saying smile and Britney smiling on that cue. Well, let's say that her face before that was not the greatest display of joy. There's also concern about that picture where he is supposedly grabbing her by the neck. But I'm going to give this photo a pass because the hand looks more like he was presenting her face and now he's putting his hand away. Either way, it's a bit of a controlling gesture like the one he actually did to Morgan Osman in her deleted video. Besides his apparent relationship with Mario Lopez, they share an Instagram update and we already know that Lopez doesn't have Britney's interest in high regard, since after her statement that she would like to sue her own family, Lopez publicly said, "I know her and her father and the family and the management and all that. She's got a lot of good people around her." That's just not true. And what's more, Asghari did not react to that, did not say anything about it. Sure, most probably Asghari must have been forced to sign a non-disclosure agreement even before seeing Britney for the first time, but for Lopez's remarks, he could have said, "I think Mario doesn't know what he's talking about," but there was no response at all. Another factor that I find off is timing. This is a time that Britney must be feeling more vulnerable than ever. For example, Matthew Rosengart, her new attorney, surely informed her of her father's intention of stepping down. The problem is with the wording of that so-called intention. According to documents filed in court by Jamie Spears' attorneys, Mr. Spears continues to serve dutifully and he should not be suspended or removed, and certainly not based on false allegations. Mr. Spears is willing to step down when the time is right, but the transition needs to be orderly and include a resolution of matters pending before the court. So basically, this is just buying time and saying that Britney's statements are false allegations. This situation must be really stressful for her because it looks like we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's not. So Asghari making this proposal at this moment is strange to say the least. Almost cruel, because for Britney to get married, she must have approval from the conservatorship. And she is not getting that approval unless Jamie steps down, and we know that he is buying as much time as possible, and we don't know how long this legal battle can take. By the way, Asghari letting himself being photographed looking at diamond rings in the past weeks is also odd. Why didn't he try to be more private about that? You know that people will be taking pictures of you everywhere, so why expose your proposal intentions like this? That's a bit of narcissism in there, or being sloppy at a minimum. But the thing that really caught my attention was this statement made by Britney in her June court hearing. Ma'am, I didn't know I could petition the conservatorship to end it. I'm sorry for my ignorance, but I honestly didn't know that. Now, we already know that her former lawyer, Sam Ingham, did not have her best interest in mind because, in her own words, my lawyer, Sam Ingham, has been very scared for me to go forward because he's saying if I speak up, I'm being overworked in that facility of that rehab place will sue me. He told me I should keep it to myself. So imagine that your lawyer is telling you to shut up and keep being overworked and stressed and in prison and crying all the time. That's cute. But it gets worse. I've grown with a personal relationship with Sam, my lawyer. We've kind of built out a relationship but haven't really had the opportunity by my own self to actually handpick my own lawyer by myself. And I would like to be able to do that. So Britney already felt that Ingham was not quite the best attorney for her, even if they had been building a closer relationship. Again, all this in her own words, but it seems that he was trying to build that relationship so she could listen to his advice that, well, you already know, it was like, just shut up, girl. Now, what does all this have to do with Sam Asghari? Well, I'm going to ask you to do a very easy exercise. Think of that person you love, the person that you want to marry or want to spend the rest of your life with, the person that you want to have babies with. Ready? Good. Now imagine that your loved one is legally imprisoned in a conservatorship that forces them to work, that forces them to take medications they don't need, that forces them into therapies that are making their life miserable while giving a public image to the world that pictures them as dumb or even crazy. Don't you think there was the slightest possibility that even if you sign a non-disclosure agreement, you will find a way to seek legal advice on your own to find out how can you break them free from that prison? And if Asghari had looked legal advice, any conservatorship attorney would have asked in less than 5 minutes, hey, has she ever considered contesting their conservatorship? So Asghari would have told her, and of course, Ingham would have said that it was a bad idea and such and such. But then in the hearing, Britney's statement would have been quite different. She would have said something like, I knew that I could contest the conservatorship, but my lawyer always discouraged me from doing so. But she said that she didn't know. So it seems that Asghari did not even bother to make a Google search on that. Don't tell me it doesn't look suspicious. Because this is a fact. We men are conquerors. We have leveled whole cities, built and destroyed empires, wiped out entire civilizations, all to secure our supply of WAP, and I don't mean waffles and pancakes, all to protect our women. And you're telling me that it never crossed your mind about talking to lawyers on how to undo that conservatorship? That doesn't fit. That's not how testosterone works. The other option is that you are Zoolander level dumb or you're not that interested. This conservatorship is airtight with the people allowed to interact with Britney, and those responsible are constantly gaslighting her. She stated expressly that instead of a therapist going to her home, a move that would be more convenient for her, and she's got the money to pay it, they forced her to go to another side where she's stalked by paparazzis. She was not allowed to have any self-care, nails, hair, massages. I know that this could sound trivial, but if you're basically imprisoned inside your home, this is something that slowly eats up your self-image. These people can go publicly and they are allowed to say whatever they want in interviews and present her as defenseless and dumb. Just remember my video analysis on her brother. It was sickening. So according to her own words, she has been progressively gaslighted into submission and depression. And it's not only the conservatorship management, it's her whole family. If they are so controlling about every aspect of her life and they have been gaslighting her with constant jabs to her mental health and monitoring each and every one of her interactions with the outside world, do you think they're going to risk having loose ends about that? I insist, those loose ends could mean criminal charges for them. And just for the record, I still don't think she has any control of her Instagram account, and unless she does a live there and speaks for herself, I'm going to keep that stance. By the way, if you want to refine your observation skills, don't forget to download my 100 body language tips in the description of this video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you don't want to miss any of my body language analysis and tips. Take care, my body language buddies.